He has alienated my brothers from me. My acquaintances are completely estranged from me. My kinsmen have gone away. My friends have forgotten me. My guests and my maidservants count me a stranger. They look upon me as an alien. I summon my servant, but he does not answer, though I beg him with my own mouth. My breath is offensive to my wife. I am loathsome to my own brothers. Even the little boys scorn me. When I appear, they ridicule me. All my intermittent friends detest me. Those I love have turned against me. I am nothing but skin and bones. I have escaped with only the skin of my teeth. Have pity on me, my friends. Have pity. For the hand of God has struck me. Why do you pursue me as God does? Will you never get enough of my flesh? Oh, that my words were recorded, that they were written on a scroll, that they were inscribed with an iron tool on lead or engraved in rock forever. I know that my Redeemer lives, and that in the end he will stand upon the earth. And after my skin has been destroyed, yet in my flesh I will see God. I myself will see him with my own eyes. I, and not another. How my heart yearns within me. If you say, how we will hound him, since a root of trouble lies in him, you should feel the sword yourselves, for wrath will bring punishment by the sword, and then you will know that there is judgment. My troubled thoughts prompt me to answer, because I am greatly disturbed. I hear rebuke that dishonors me, and my understanding inspires me to reply. Surely you know how it has been of old, ever since mankind was placed on earth, that the mirth of the wicked is brief, the joy of the godless lasts but a moment. Though the pride of the godless person reaches the heavens and his head touches the clouds, he will perish forever, like his own dung. Those who have seen him will say, where is he? Like a dream he flies away, no more to be found, banished like a vision of the night. The eye that saw him will not see him again. His place will look on him no more. His children must make amends to the poor. His own hands must give back his wealth. The youthful vigor that fills his bones will lie with him in the dust. Though evil is sweet in his mouth, and he hides it under his tongue, though he cannot bear to let it go, and lets it linger in his mouth, yet his food will turn sour in his stomach. It will become the venom of serpents within him. He will spit out the riches he has swallowed. God will make his stomach vomit them out. He will suck the poison of serpents. The fangs of an adder will kill him. He will not enjoy the streams, the rivers flowing with honey and cream. What he toiled for he must give back uneaten. He will not enjoy the profit from his trading, for he has oppressed the poor and left them destitute. He has sized the houses he did not build. Surely he will have no respite from his craving. He cannot save himself by his treasure. Nothing is left for him to devour. His prosperity will not endure. In the midst of his plenty, distress will overtake him. The full force of misery will come upon him. When he has filled his belly, God will vent his burning anger against him, and rain down his blows on him. Though he flees from an iron weapon, a bronze-tipped arrow pierces him. He pulls it out of his back, the gleaming point out of his liver. Terrors will come over him. Total darkness lies in wait for his treasures. A fire unfathomed will consume him and devour what is left in his tent. The heavens will expose his guilt. The earth will rise against him. A flood will carry off his house, rushing water on the day of God's wrath. Such is the fate God allots the wicked, the heritage appointed for them by God. Listen carefully to my words. Let this be the consolation you give me. Bear with me while I speak, and after I have spoken, mock on. Is my complaint directed to man? Why should I not be impatient? Look at me, and be astonished. Clap your hand over your mouth. Then I think about this. I am terrified. Trembling seizes my body. Why do the wicked live on, growing old and increasing in power? They see their children established around them, their offspring before their eyes. Their homes are safe and free from fear. The rod of God is not upon them. Their bulls never fail to breed. Their cows calf and do not miscarry. They send forth their children as a flock. Their little ones dance about and sing to the music of trampoline and harp, and make merry to the sound of the flute. They spend their years in prosperity, and go down into the grave in peace. Yet they say to God, leave us alone. We have no desire to know your ways. Who is the Almighty that we should serve him? What would we gain by praying to him? But their prosperity is not in their own hands. So I stand aloof from the counsel of the wicked. Yet how often is the lamp of the wicked snuffed out? How often does calamity come upon them? The fate God allots in his anger. And how often are they like straw before wind, like chaff swept away by a gate. God stores up a man's punishment for his sons. Let him repay the man himself, so that he will know it. Let his own eyes see his destruction. Let him drink the wrath of the Almighty. For what does he care about the family he leaves behind, when his allotted months come to an end? Can anyone teach knowledge to God? Since he judges even the highest, one man dies in full vigor, completely secure and at ease. His body well nourished, his bones rich with marrow, Another man dies in bitterness of soul, never having enjoyed anything good. Side by side they lie in the dust, and worms cover them both. I know full well what you were thinking. The schemes by which you would wrong me. You say, where now is the great man's house and tents where wicked men live? Have you never questioned those who travel? Have you paid no regard to their accounts, that the evil man is spared from the day of calamity, that he is delivered from the day of wrath? Who denounces his conduct to his face, who repays him for what he has done, he is carried to the grave, and watch is kept over his tomb. The soil in the valley is sweet to him. All men follow after him, and a countless throng goes before him. So how can you console me with your nonsense? Nothing is left of your answers but falsehood. Can a man be of benefit to God? Can even a wise man benefit him? What pleasure would it give the Almighty if you were righteous? What would he gain if your ways were blasphemous? Is it for your piety that he rebukes you and brings charges against you? Is not your wickedness great? Are not your sins endless? You demanded security from your brothers for no reason. You stripped men of their clothing, leaving them naked. You gave no water to the weary, and you withheld food from the hungry. Though you were a powerful man, owning land, an honored man living on it, you sent widows away empty-handed, and broke the strength of the fatherless. That is why snares are all around you, why sudden peril terrifies you, why it is so dark you cannot see, and why a flood of water covers you. Is not God in the heights of heaven? And see how lofty are the highest stars. Yet you say, where does God know? Does he judge through such darkness? Thick clouds veil him, for he does not see us, as he goes about in the vaulted heavens. Will you keep to the old path that evil men have trod? They were carried off before their time, their foundations washed away by a flood. They said to God, leave us alone. What can Almighty do to us? Yet it was He who filled their houses with good things. So I stand aloof from the counsel of the wicked. The righteous see their The righteous see their ruin and rejoice. The innocent mock at them, saying, surely our foes are destroyed, and fire devours their wealth. Submit to God and be at peace with Him. In this way prosperity will come to you. Accept instruction from His mouth and lay up His words in your heart. If you return to the Almighty, you will be restored. If you remove wickedness from your tent and assign your nuggets to the dust, your gold of upper to the rocks of the ravens, then the Almighty will be your gold, the choicest silver for you. Surely then you will find delight in the Almighty, and will lift up your face to God. You will pray to Him, and He will hear you. And you will fulfill your vows. What you decide on will be done, and lights will shine on your ways. When men are brought low, you will say, and lift them up. Then He will save the downcast. He will deliver even one who is not innocent, who will be delivered through the cleanness of your hand, delivered out of your hands. Even today, my complaint is bitter. His hand is heavy in spite of my groaning. If only I knew where to find Him, if only I could go to His dwelling, I would state my case before Him and fill my mouth with arguments. I would find out what He would answer me and consider what He would say. Would He oppose me with great power? No, He would not press charges against me. There an upright man could present his case before Him, and I would be delivered forever from my judge. But if I go east, He is not there. If I go west, I do not find Him. When He is at work in the north, I do not see Him. When He turns to the south, I catch no glimpse of Him. But He knows the way that I take. When He has tested me, I come forth as gold. My feet have closely followed His steps. I have kept His way without turning aside. I have not departed from the commands of His lips. I have treasured the words of His mouth more than daily bread. But He stands alone, and who can oppose Him? He does whatever He pleases. He carries out His decree against me, and many such plans He still has in store. That is why I am terrified before Him. When I think of all this, I fear Him. God has made my heart faint. The Almighty has terrified me. Yet I am not silenced by the darkness, by the thick darkness that covers my face. Why does the Almighty set times for judgment? Why must those who know Him look in vain for such days? Men move boundary swords. They pass the flocks they have stolen. They drive away the orphan's donkey, and take the widow's ox in pledge. They thrust the needy from the path, and force all the poor of the land into hiding. Like wild donkeys in the desert, the poor go about their labor of foregathering food. The wasteland provides food for their children. They gather fodder in their fields and glean in the vineyards of the wicked. Lacking clothing, they spend the night naked. They have nothing to cover themselves in the cold. They are drenched by melting rains and hug rocks for lack of shelter. A fatherless child is snatched from the breast. The infant of the poor is sized for a doubt. Lacking clothing, they go about naked. They carry the cheese, but still go hungry. They crush olives among the torrents. They tread the wine presses, yet suffer thirst. The groans of the dying rise from the city. The souls of the wounded cry out for help, but God charges no one with wrongdoing. There are those who rebel against the light, who do not know its ways or stay in its paths. When daylight is gone, the murderer rises up and kills the poor and needy. In the night he steals forth like a thief. The eye of the adulterer watches for dusk. He thinks, no eye will see me. He keeps his face concealed. In the dark men break into houses, but by day they shut themselves in. They want nothing to do with the light. For all of them deep darkness is their morning. They make friends with the terrors of darkness. They are foam on the surface of the waters. Their portion is the land is cursed, so that no one goes into the vineyards, as heat and drought snatch away the melted snow, so the grave snatches away those who have sinned. The womb forgets them, the worm feasts on them. Evil men are no longer remembered, but a broken make a tree. They prey on the barren, childless woman, and to the widow show no kindness. But God drags away the mighty by his power. Though they become escapists, they have no assurance of life. He may let them rest in a feeling of security, but his eyes are on their ways. For a little while they are exalted, and then they are gone. They are brought low and gathered up like others. They are cut off like heads of grain. If this is not so, who can prove me false and reduce my words to nothing?